As the world celebrates International Human Rights Day with the focus Stand Up for Equality, Justice and Human Dignity, senior correspondent Ivy Kano takes a look at what our criminal justice system says about such acts of parading suspects by security agencies.
You will not do that to me. You will not do that to me. You will not do that to me. You will not do that to me.
These were the scenes Nigerians had to contend with just barely a week to the global celebration of International Human Rights Day, 10th of December, which has been the custom since 1948, and one celebration that Nigerians continue to hold dear. Nigeria has come from 16 years of oppressive military rule, which ended on 29th of May 1999. And in almost 19 years, many can argue that the human rights situation may have improved. It basically means that we are under constitutional government, and to a certain extent, we have access to the courts to challenge the constitutional provisions. Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution deals with human rights. Section 34 of the 1999 Constitution states, "Every individual is entitled to respect for the dignity of his person, and accordingly, A. No person shall be subject to torture or inhuman or degrading treatment." Section 35(1) states, "Every person shall be entitled to his personal liberty, and no person shall be deprived of such liberty, such as the following cases, and in accordance with a procedure permitted by law." Section 36(5) of the 1999 Constitution states that every person charged with a criminal offense shall be presumed innocent until proven guilty.
I feel it's a gross violation of the constitutional provision that says that you're innocent until proven guilty. Let my guilt be established, then come and show me, but not at that level of investigation.
And it's on these guiding principles that aggrieved parties know that they have a right of action before a court of competent jurisdiction. The case may not be said of this lady who walked into DSS office and at the end of the day engaged in this scuffle.
For the lady who went as far as taking the veil off, I think because we don't really go and we don't take up issues like this, so we don't really have decided cases like that. But really, I felt so bad, and I'm like, I think I should take this up.
She says clearly to the DSS that she's a Nigerian and she knows what her rights are.
For that woman, it was that had degenerated into assault for me, and like you're bringing down her dignity. So when they now establish that she's not a criminal, what do you do? How do you remedy that? And most times we don't go back to court and sue. Maybe by the time you sue 1, 2, 3 agencies and they pay through their noses, then I guess they will sit up. But that has to be looked into.
But despite the fact that this has happened, it is not an infrequent occurrence. It is something that happens one too many times. Right across the Nigerian police force to the army and to paramilitary groups, a lot of suspects are oftentimes paraded before pressmen and made to look like criminals, prejudicing what their case may be before their day in court. At the end of the day, this now negates Nigeria's system of justice, the presumption of innocence until proven guilty.
In the course of our nation building, the aspect of policing and the general administration of criminal justice have recorded serious resentment, serious aberrations, and if you like, subversion of the principles of justice, including, of course, the very important notion that a suspect, indeed every Nigerian, no less a suspect, who is charged with any criminal offense or alleged to have committed any offense is still entitled to his to the presumption of innocence. This presumption of innocence is clearly defined and provided for and guaranteed under Section 36, subsection 5.
One other category of people who deal with the receiving end of unconstitutional rule is the prison population, where our inmate population is more than 60,000, and more than half of that are awaiting trial prisoners. A lot of time, those awaiting trial prisoners serve illegal sentences. Only some days ago, the presidency directed that prisons should be decongested across the Federation of Nigeria. The exercise started in Lagos with the chief judge going to Ikoyi prison, a prison that was built by colonials and to house 800 people today houses more than 3,000 people. Prison officials complain. They talk about amenities, facilities, and are worried about security outbreak and security breaches as a result of the fact that you have too many people in those prisons. One judge had rightly said that they would consider non-custodial sentences, all in a bid to reduce the number of people in our prisons. Ivy Kano, TVC News, Lagos.